We forgot how to do this.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
Yeah. Hello from the complex couple. I can't even talk. We've invited a lot into our lives in the last 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 10 months.
Yes.
And so much so that we struggled to keep up with posting and sharing. And so we thought we'd use this opportunity for a brief update on how things have been going.
Yes.
Okay.
It hasn't been easy.
No, no.
Yeah.
So we left Maine in September and landed in Rhode Island, East Greenwich, to be specific. And we were there about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One is that Keith and his friend did some van build outs. So there's a bed in there now, and there's a cabinet in there now, and walls and a ceiling. And it looks amazing. If you haven't seen it, I guess go to Instagram, check it out. We're also there to put in some updates to a boat that we're currently sitting on right now, a 52-foot power yacht that our buddy Jim bought and needed to do some updates before moving the boat to Florida. So we didn't leave there until November 15th.
Yeah.
You want to take it from there?
Yeah. So real quick about the boat. The boat's like 20 years old, and we picked it up in Virginia from an owner. It was a woman that owned the boat. The boat had been neglected quite a bit, and it was a lot of work. I mean, we basically just did I wouldn't say the minimum, but we could have spent the whole rest of the summer in the boatyard working on the boat. So we put new electronics, things that could help us, on the trip. Getting to the trip real quick. During this process, and it was long, we had 10 days of bad weather, really bad weather. Jennifer you locked yourself out of the van.
You're getting ahead. Like we both left on November 15th.
Yeah. So am I. Okay. So anyway, so leaving November 15th, we didn't even make it to Block Island before the weather got bad.
You left by boat.
Yep.
I left by van.
We should start this again.
We're doing okay.
Okay.
Keep going. Okay. Well, I just want to set the stage,
all right. Anyways, it was supposed to be like a 3-week trip, but by boat. But for the first 10 days, we didn't get to New York. We had the craziest weather, and we'd get out and we'd get punished for it, and then we'd have to navigate to find a marina. Had 2 dogs on board. Had some issues with the boat, but it was minor. But still, when you're dealing with really bad weather and you got to shut an engine down, and there's 10-foot seas and 40-knot winds, it wasn't a lot of fun. So
what you learned right off the bat was leaving New England in the middle of November is a little late.
Yeah, well, we knew that. So, Jim had already said that.
Okay.
So anyways.
But even worse than I think anticipated.
It was a lot worse. We couldn't get a break. Yeah. So.
So on day 1, I drove from Rhode Island to Delaware. I stayed at a campground there and just waited for them to catch up and waited and waited. I kept extending my reservation. I think the first reservation was 5 days was what you thought. I think I was there almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you were just putting along.
Yeah, that's what I call it, putt.
And then we caught up in Crisfield, Maryland for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which was a nice break. So maybe it wasn't 10 days, whatever, the 15th to Thanksgiving.
I can't get the dates, but you'd already locked yourself out of your van.
I did.
Few days prior to that.
Locked myself out of the van at night, 24-degree weather, and took a couple hours to get back in there. And I still don't think I did anything wrong, for the record. The van was running because it was cold, and I went to use the bathroom. So I unlocked the door, the sliding door, opened it and closed it, thinking it would stay unlocked, but I heard a click, and every access door was locked. And that was a challenge. Holy smokes. But thankfully I was at a campground and around other people. If I was boondocking, I don't know what I would have done. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have anyone's phone number in I didn't know his phone number. I couldn't even call you. I texted my mom and said, could you call Keith and tell Keith to call me at this number? Because I was using a camp host's phone.
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly. And then we got the roadside assistance.
Yeah.
So that all happened before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. So then we met up in Crisfield. And by the time we got to Crisfield, Jim and I were already exhausted. I mean,
Maryland.
Yeah. By the time we get to Maryland, you know, we weren't really sleeping as good as we should have. And it was a nice break, though. We were able to have dinner on board the boat. Jim cooked. And considering, you know, just the three of us, we enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So
then we parted ways again.
Yeah.
And I went to Hendersville. I don't know. I was on the border of North Carolina and Virginia at a campground there. And we were planning to meet up again. So I made my reservation there for 3 nights. It was a Friday to a Monday. And what I didn't know is that my reservation was for the very last day of the camping season at this campground. And by Sunday, everybody had cleared out. Everybody was gone except for 3 of us. And I'm not going to lie, we were pretty remote. And I thought, well, this is different. But I was thankful that I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
And I got up Monday morning, packed up the van, secured everything. I hadn't started the car yet. But the last thing I had to do was pull out my extension cord from the electrical box. And when I did that, I slipped and fell and broke my wrist. And by then I was the last person in the campground. I was the very last person. And boy, that hurt like a son of a gun.
Yeah, you had to see it to understand what a break
it was. This wrist, and it was, I don't know, like a golf ball swell.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to drive myself to the ER and spent the day there and stayed the night in a hotel.
Mm-hmm. And we were out somewhere, you know, there was no way I could get off the boat. There's no way I could leave because, you know, this boat, you need a minimum of 2 men to run it. So there wasn't a lot I could do. I got on the phone. I called my brother in Charleston because we had talked about Jennifer going to Charleston.
And I was really resistant because I've never met these people.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'll stop in, spend the night, say hi, wait for you to catch up. But I was going to not go there till the very last minute till I knew you were going to be in Charleston.
Yeah. But it worked out that she didn't really have anywhere to go to heal up. And there was a possibility she might need surgery. And there's just no way I could leave the boat unless it was like life and death. So
I drove myself one-armed for 8 hours from North Carolina to outside Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I have to say that your brother and sister-in-law are awesome. They opened me with they welcomed me with open arms, and I felt very comfortable and supported there.
Yeah. And I haven't spent a lot of time with my brother in decades since I left my home in 81. I've seen my brother randomly, but you know, just to call up out of the blue and say, hey, Scott, I need a huge favor. You know, my wife is injured, and they took pretty good care of you.
They were awesome. We had dinner every night, and I had my bedroom that I could retreat to because I am an introvert, so I like to be alone. Mm-hmm. But no, it's in a neighborhood. I could walk around, got consultations with a surgeon, didn't have to have surgery. But still, I was there 2 weeks, I think, before you got there.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to cross the Okeechobee. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, you're talking about down here in Florida.
In Florida.
Yeah.
So you stopped into South Carolina, saw me.
Mm-hmm. For just 2 days.
2 days.
2 days. You know, I was so exhausted by the time I got there. The first day was just a write-off. And then the second day I had to replenish the boat with Jim. So I didn't get a lot of time with anyone really. It was just nice to get off the boat.
And then you and Jim kept going to Florida.
Yeah. And it was just slow. But, you know, wrapping this up, you know, we came down the ICW, the Intercoastal Waterway. We had to go out to the Atlantic a few times. And when we ended up getting into Port St. Lucie, where the canal goes across to the Gulf side, we didn't have any charts, anything really to go by, which.
You guys didn't even know there were locks.
Well, no, Jim knew there was locks.
Oh, he did.
He didn't know there were so many of them. I didn't know anything. I'd never been on it before. So I was just, in my mind, we're just going to putt across. We'll be there, within 48 hours. Nothing went according to plan. Not a thing, So, and it just basically, it didn't really get better, but it did get worse.
Right. So you finally make it all the way across Florida, and you land in Fort Myers.
Yeah, we got fuel right where we're docked right now.
And you decided to keep going.
Yep. So we had
a little bit further.
Yeah. So we had this place. What's the name of that place?
Uncle Henry's Marina.
Uncle Henry's Marina up at, what's that?
Boca Grande.
Boca Grande, which is like by boat, probably 3 or 4 hours from here in a putt-putt boat. So we ended up getting fuel here, and we were at the fuel dock, and Jim and I are looking at each other, and we were so tired by now. We were like at the end of our
33 days by then.
Yes, we were at 33 days, and Jim and I were talking. Jim says, "You want to go for it?" And I didn't want to go for it. I was like, fuck it, let's just park it right here. But I knew he didn't want to be here. And I was going to have to stay here until Jim got back. There was more to the story, but we decided to go on, and we get less than 500 meters from Uncle Henry's Marina in this channel, and we run aground.
You can see it, right?
Oh yeah.
You can see the marina.
We can see it. I mean, I was talking to him, we'll be there in 10 minutes. We're going to get fuel, get our slip ready, and we run aground.
Because the channel is so shallow.
Yeah, it's very shallow, and the tide had kind of gone out, and it was like just a couple of the day markers were missing. We might have missed one. And anyways, it was a combination of issues, partly crew issue, partly the navigational side of it. But we ended up running aground and couldn't get off. And at this point, Jim and I are both like, what the? So we did everything we could for 24 hours to get the boat off.
Waited till the middle of the night for high tide.
Yeah, and of course, tide is like a foot and a half. It goes out. We're not getting off anything. So my skipper is basically thinking, we're going to have to get pulled off, and this might be a salvage job. So there's a lot more to the situation than I knew, because I'd never been in a situation before. But 72 hours later, we finally get pulled off. We didn't get any sleep.
72 hours.
Yeah, we don't have any fresh water because we dumped it. Hopefully, got the 1,500 pounds of lifter in. So we're drinking what's left of bottled water. Little food.
The dogs
got to get off on the sandbars. So it was just
twice a day.
Yeah, twice a day.
So you finally got a towboat to get you off.
Well, we finally called Towboat US, and the guy that owns this this part of it, his name is Kyle, kind of a young cat, but total professional. And as soon as we gave him the green light, they were on station, and we actually had to put airbags under the boat to lift the boat up, and still it took a while to pull us off. So, and it was the only time we had. So if we didn't pull it on a certain night, that was going to be the highest tide we were going to have for the next 7 or 10 days. And so it cost a lot of money. I felt bad, but shit happens on a boat.
We're not talking a couple hundred. We're talking many thousands.
Yeah, it could have been in excess of 20,000, but Kyle was good to us. Jim and I worked with the crew for about, 2 days getting the boat prepped for the pullout. But and it doesn't stop from there.
So then you never made it to Uncle Henry's.
We never made it. So
ended up coming back to Fort Myers, which is why we're here now.
Mm-hmm. So, and then we got back here. Jennifer was waiting for me because I told her I'll go pick you up. And
waiting for you in Charleston.
Yeah. So
that's right.
We finally get the boat here, tie up, get all our shit squared away, try to get some sleep, get up at like 5 a.m.
The next day, the very next day.
Get a rent-a-car. Then we can't get a rent-a-car till like 10. And then we drive nonstop to Charleston. And then Jim spent the night with us, slept in my van, and then he left in the morning. And then I spent maybe 2 days?
2 days, but you couldn't speak. You couldn't keep your head up. You were so exhausted and so tired. I'd never seen you like that before.
Yeah.
Never seen really anybody like that. Like you'd get up and eat and go back to bed.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I was
You
completely
weren't really
like
Mr.
fried.
Social.
No, and that's not for me to get like that. I mean, I have.
This
to
is
be,
Mr. Social
Yeah.
normally.
So I was completely wiped out.
So
mentally.
2 nights later, then we hopped back in the car.
Mm-hmm.
You drove the van back to Fort Myers,
which was 8 or 9 hours or 7 hours, something like that.
8 hours of driving, but we stopped, so 9 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been here finally ever since then.
Yes.
Whenever then was. It's been like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, I think.
Yep.
And we're leaving today.
And so we're waiting for Jim, who's driving down from Rhode Island. He should be here around 1. And then we're out of here and we're headed to the Panhandle. And we're going to try and find a place to live.
Yeah.
Find a house or something with a pandemic and everything else. I don't know.
Yeah.
We just kind of feel like maybe we can find something that we can hunker down for a while and still travel from that point. But, you know, country's a mess right now as far as certain aspects of it.
We want a home base.
Yeah, we want a home base.
Yeah.
I want my wife to have an office. I want my own office. And I want to be away from this. I mean, Fort Myers isn't bad, but it's too busy. It's
very busy. The weather's beautiful. I mean, it's been sunny every day. We've met some great people here. We've been exposed to a whole new lifestyle that is very unfamiliar. I mean, the couple over here next to us, they've lived in that boat slip for 45 years on a boat. Like that just blows my mind. And then this couple over here, 3 years, I think. But it's nice we can just step off the boat and walk into downtown, which we don't do often because sometimes it's really crowded, but we'll do some takeout, bring it back to the boat. Florida doesn't do a lot of social distancing or masking up.
At least not
some, but yeah, not here. So, you know, we're pretty careful and stick to the boat or on walks or on outdoor places where we feel like there's enough air.
Yeah.
Circulating.
It's not, I mean,
but it's loud. Like there's music, there's bars, there's restaurants, there's a lot of cars going by.
People walking by all the time with dogs and this and that. So.
Yeah, we're looking for more remote, quiet, less populated spot.
Yeah. Yeah, we know we're not going to find great food. I come from one of the best states in the United States for food, Rhode Island. Everybody knows if you want great food, you go to Rhode Island.
I didn't know that. It's not everybody knows.
Well, Mainer, you know. Anyways, Rhode Island has good Italian food, good Chinese food, a lot of diversity. And here, it's probably here, but I just don't know where it's at. And where we're going, I don't think we're not going to be getting any Maine lobster. It'll be hillbilly, whatever it is.
Yeah, although it is funny, right on downtown, there is a place where you can get Maine lobster, but I'm very suspicious because I can't imagine it's fresh. It's got to be frozen. I'm like, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be fresh like you would get it.
Yeah. So. But we did see a place or a truck that said Bar Harbor Seafood on it, which I thought was really interesting. But it was a Florida-based restaurant or seafood market. There's something else that reminded me of Maine that I'm now forgetting. But anyway, that's the update. That's where we're at. We got stuff spread out everywhere. Maine, Rhode Island, the van, on the boat. I guess we got the boat cleared off now.
Yeah.
But
we're packed up.
We're packed up. We're going to do a brief tour of the boat too. So you'll be able to check that out and see how we've been living.
Are you going to do that on this one right now?
No, we'll do it on the phone.
Okay.
And then we'll just upload it.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I don't really have anything to say. I'll tell you this
Sign
much.
off.
Yeah. I'm glad to be getting off this boat. I've been on it for
since November 15th, pretty much.
Yeah. So it's been almost 60 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, banging my elbows, banging my head, small little galley, you know, so it's,
Yeah, we can show the galley from here. Yeah. Is that the right way?
No,
the other way.
That's where all the great cooking is done right there.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's a little sneak peek of where we've been staying.
It's been interesting though. I can't say it's all been bad. You know, it's an experience. Like, it's nice to have the opportunity to take a trip like this. It didn't quite work out as well for Jennifer with the smashed up wrist and
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I would be doing a lot more van lifing, staying in campgrounds and writing and journaling and stuff like that, but just couldn't do it with the broken wrist. This is what I've been wearing, but I don't need it as much anymore, and so I like taking it off and having a break.
yeah. And I'm just ready to go on to the next challenge.
The next adventure, the next chapter.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks for
it.
joining.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.